Hello everyone, welcome to my third Q&A. We have a lot of good questions today, ranging from how to get cheap Lego and then even the next Clone Wars UCS set. Now if you have a question you want answered for the next video, put that down in the comments and I'll get to it in the next video. But now let's get into the questions. The first one is from Hardcore Gaming. What do you think will be the next Clone Battle Pack? Now, as I'm sure you're all aware, next year is the 20th anniversary of Revenge of the Sith. I've kind of talked about this a lot, and so I think this will be our next Clone Battle Pack. Next year, I'm sure we'll get another one. They've been pretty adamant about hammering those out. They've, I guess, realized how much we love clones. And with next year being the anniversary, I can't imagine we don't get a Clone Battle Pack based off that movie. I suspect it'll either be the 327th or the 41st Elite Corps. Kinda up in the air to which one. Odds are it'd be the 41st just because we've seen them more times. It'd be pretty easy for them to remake those figures. You know, we had a battle pack, well, I guess it was 10 years ago at this point, but those figures, they really could just copy and paste them. It'd be nice to see the 327th, especially with the new macro binoculars piece they introduced. You know, I don't know, they just seem to kind of have a tendency to not want to do anything new with the clones. You know, they've been giving us more clones, but more the same. We haven't gotten anything really new. So we'll see on that front. But definitely I think next year. Real quick, I will mention, I'm sure some of you are asking about 212th, but I can't imagine we'll get 212th. Even though they're featured in the film, there's a bunch of them in the ATT, so I don't think a battle pack for them will be coming anytime soon. This next question is asked by Suvin Band. How can I get cheap Lego minifigures that are not knockoffs? I'm trying to get back into Lego and it's really expensive. Well, I'm going to break it to you right now. Lego is an expensive hobby. You know, a lot of hobbies are, but Lego especially. There are ways to reduce your costs, you know, buying used, obviously never buying anything straight off retail price, waiting for sales, that kind of thing. If for minifigures though specifically, like you're asking in this question, I would say that the best way to do it is really just you kind of just have to watch like eBay, Facebook Marketplace, those kind of places. Bricklink, everyone knows the going rate, so if you want a deal, Bricklink isn't really it. You can check, but you're probably not going to find like a really good deal on Bricklink. But like I said, eBay, if you're just looking for like some specific figures and you really want a good deal, I mean, you can check the buy it nows, but I always like to look at auctions because sometimes some of the auctions don't get that much traffic. So not too often, but every once in a while you might find a figure going for, you know, less than normal because the auction isn't getting that much foot traffic. Then you also have Facebook Marketplace. Lots are a good way on there. I would highly recommend lots because you can go buy a lot. If you see a minifigure or two you want in this lot, you go buy the lot of, you know, whatever they have. Maybe there's bricks included, who knows. You take what you want and then you sell the rest, right? Get some of your money back. Really though, there's not too much I can tell you besides, yeah, you just have to kind of wait around and get lucky and wait for deals. Now, of course, if you're going for like any really sought after minifigures, I'm talking like Holy Grail figures, you know, Cloud City Boba Fett, I'm going to tell you, you're not going to find a deal on that, you know, like you're just going to have to bite the bullet. I mean, you can obviously, but it's a very slim chance. Figures like that, the really high end ones that everybody wants and are really famous, you are not going to get a good deal on those ones. You know, that's just kind of how it is, unfortunately. Lego's gotten to a place where people are, you know, realizing, hey, this little, you know, plastic brick's actually more expensive than you might think. This next question is from Colin Bedingfield. What clone legion would you want the most? Now, for this question, I'm going to be basing it on which one I want the most, you know, not what's most likely, because the legion I want is not likely at all, and that's the 121st Infantry. That's Commander Doom's Legion, like we see in the Clone Wars episode, where Tup's inhibitor chip malfunctions and he commits Order 66 early. These guys weren't on screen long, but they had a very cool color scheme. The gray and green was really neat. The fact that there's no white at all showing, because, you know, most clones, you have the basic white armor, and then it's just a supplement of colors, you know, either shoulders on the helmet, whatever it is. These guys, though, their full body is, you know, dark gray and dark green, and it looks really cool. They are definitely a pipe dream, but maybe one day. Who knows? The next question is by Emily Hido. What was the first set you bought/got? Now, I can't actually answer this for certain, but I think, if I have to think back of which set I remember, the earliest, have the earliest memory of, and what set in my collection is the oldest, I think it's an X-Wing. So here it is. I believe this is the first, if not one of the first Lego sets I've ever owned. So it's obviously got a place in my heart. Of course, it's an X-Wing too, so how can you not love it? It's an X-Wing. One of the coolest ships in Star Wars, and this one's always stayed on display for me. Again, I think it's got to be one of the first sets I've ever gotten. It's really hard to say because I received them when I was so young, and it wasn't me who bought them, it was people buying them for me. All in all, though, yeah, I love that set. Of course, X-Wings are always great. I pretty much love every X-Wing. It's just such a good ship, and Lego has it down to a science at this point of how to build them. But yeah, for this one in particular, nothing's gonna ever beat it for me. And now we have our final question from NatSenCaps4935. Do you think there will be more UCS Clone Wars sets? Maybe not clones, but in the same timeline. So yeah, I assume you're meaning just prequel sets basically. And I do think we will be seeing one next year. It was leaked that next year we will be seeing an ARC-170 playset. So I think that pretty much confirms that the UCS set we see earlier in the year, the $200 to $240 range, will be a UCS Jedi Interceptor set for Obi-Wan and Anakin. I can't imagine it'll be anything else with the anniversary. Like we've already mentioned many times, Revenge of the Sith anniversary next year. I can't imagine it's going to be anything else. I, up until this point, thought it was either going to be the Interceptors or an ARC 170, leaning towards the Interceptors more. And now that we're getting an ARC 170 playset, also like I predicted in my predictions video, I think it is basically set in stone that we are going to be getting a UCS Anakin and Obi-Wan Starfighter for the UCS set in May. Now, obviously, I have no insider information, and I'm just taking an educated guess here on what I believe is going to happen. So, take that all with a grain of salt. But I am pretty certain that's going to happen. I fully believe it will. All right, guys, that was the final question for this video. So now I just want to thank you all for stopping by. Remind you to leave more questions down below. Other than that, I hope you all enjoyed the video. And until next time, I'll see you guys later.